And we are back here. Apologies, folks. Some audio difficulties here, but just about a minute to go until Lane Tech and Brother Rice here in the final game of the CPL CCL shootout. It's been a great day of basketball at both St. Rita and then the nightcap 3 games here at Lane Tech. 2 very talented teams, and this should be a fun matchup. Thank you so much for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call. Great to be back here, and it's an exciting matchup. These 2 teams had some struggles to end the 2023 part of the schedule. Lane Tech going 2-2 at the Hinsdale Central Holiday Tournament. They did end with a win, though. Meanwhile, Brother Rice dropped their final 2 games of the tournament, and those were the first 2 losses all season for the Crusaders. So we'll see if they can get back on their feet here tonight. They're going through the starting lineups on the court, so we'll get your starting lineups right here on the broadcast. It'll be Xavier Fitch, the 6'7" forward senior, starting for the Crusaders, to go along with Marcos Gonzalez, a junior guard who's been very, very impressive. Kale Cosme, a 5'9" guard, gets a start. Don't let that height fool you. He is one of the most skilled ball handlers, one of the most skilled shooters in the area. Danny Sheehan is a surprise start tonight for Brother Rice. The 6'1" guard gets the start. Mainly a pitcher in baseball, but also can shoot the ball a little bit as well. And Caden Workman, the 6'4" forward junior, who head coach Conte Stamus said is really the glue for this team, gets the start. Now the Lane Tech, who they're introducing on the court right now. Jackson Labcon, the senior guard, gets the start. He can really shoot the rock. Drew Bartolai, the junior forward, comes in the starting lineup tonight wearing number 2. Shahid Solibo, number 5, will start. He is the 13 points away from scoring 1,000 in his career. Zach Mazanowski, the 6'7" junior, gets a start. And finally, number 23, Parker Williams, the senior guard committed to Trinity University. The lone absence to that, Dalton Scantlebury. He has been battling some injury, came back in full in the Hinsdale Central Tournament, was on a minutes restriction the last time Lane Tech played at home against Chaminade. So we'll see if they can do that, if he plays early here tonight, or what is looking like for Scantlebury tonight. Looks like we are just about ready to go here at Lane Gymnasium. All 5 players on the court for both teams. Lane Tech in their home whites. They'll be going from left to right across your screen here this evening. Brother Rice in their maroon and burnt orange uniforms. They'll be going from right to left. It'll be Zach Mazanowski in the middle. He's the center to start things off here, and Xavier Fitch for Brother Rice, a very skilled junior and a very skilled senior for Lane Tech and Brother Rice, respectively. Ref bouncing the ball at mid-court, and we are underway here. Fitch wins the tip. Gonzalez gets it. And Brother Rice, the number 9 team in the area, hoping for a hot start tonight against Lane Tech. Bartolai gets some early defense. They get inside the Workman. Solivo tried for a steal there on Fitch, but the senior star for Lane Tech will pick up his first foul. Solivo's been kind of figuring out his new role with Scantlebury back in the lineup. Had to do some extra rebounding with the big man for Lane out, as this outlet pass to Fitch down low. Spin move no good. Solivo will grab his first rebound of the night. Still scoreless here in the first quarter. Solivo takes it himself. Labcon, corner 3. Can't get it to go. And Cosme, standing at 5'9", grabs the rebound. Spin move gets so quick to the basket. Can't get it to go. Fitch there. He can't get it either. Cosme gets the rebound, though. 2 rebounds already tonight for the star for this Brother Rice squad, as they pass it far side to Sheehan. And now a NBA range 3 from Cosme. He drains it. 3-0 the early score here for the Crusaders at Lane Tech. Thank you so much for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call. Nice crowd for some winter break hoops. 6 games between the Public League and the Catholic League here today, and this is the headliner to end it all. In the corner, Bartolai far on his 3, and this one will go out on Mazanowski. So Lane Tech 0 for 2 shooting the 3 early on. That's been one of the keys for them recently. They went 6 of 16 in their last game, a win against Morgan Park from beyond the arc. But if you go to 3 games ago, they made 13 threes against Morden. That was a big win for them. So we'll see if Lane Tech can clean that up in the next couple of minutes. 6.5 to play here in the first. Down low, Workman trying to get his first points, but he will travel instead. And Lane Tech will get the basketball back. No subs yet for either one of these teams, so the starting 10 still in as Labcon brings it across the court. Numerous guys who are great ball handlers on the court right now for Lane Tech. We have Solibo, Labcon, Williams, and Bartolai, who all can bring it up the court as Labcon gets it in the corner to Solibo. A tight man-to-man out of Brother Rice early on as Solibo can't get that one to fall. Rebound falls into the hands of Gonzalez. The junior puts it far side. Sheehan thinks about the 3, instead drives in, gets a 2 to go. And a 5-0 lead here for Brother Rice. 2 minutes in to the first frame of action. Abcon thought about the shot there. Instead, it's going to give it off to Williams. He's been quiet early on. We'll hand it off to Mazanowski. The junior misses the 3, and Lane now 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. We'll see Dalton Scantlebury check into the game momentarily. Gonzalez shoots it from the charity stripe. That one airball, though, just hit the front of the netting. And both the teams a little cold out of the new year. We could have expected that. A few days off for both of these teams. And we'll see which one can change that first. Down low, Scantlebury almost gets it picked off there by Fitch. Fitch is probably our player to watch here today for Brother Rice. Obviously, Cosme is very strong, but Fitch has been great recently. But we have not seen a lot out of him early on as Scantlebury hands it off to Solibo. Williams, dead center 3, and another missed shot from the top of the arc for Lane Tech. As Gonzalez almost slips there. Gonzalez just a junior, one of 2 juniors in the starting lineup. 3 juniors in the starting lineup here today for Brother Rice. As a block from behind, they'll call the foul there on Scantlebury. And the junior captain gets marked with a foul right after coming off the bench. We didn't mention it, but it was Scantlebury coming in for Mazanowski. Those are the 2 big men for this Lane Tech squad. We'll see if they go in and out for each other the rest of the night, as Fitch will head to the line. 6'7" forward, was named all-tournament at Hinsdale Central as he drains the first free throw to move this to a 6-0 lead. No points yet for Lane Tech. How about this? Set the rebounding record for 4 games at the Hinsdale Central tournament. He pulled down 51 rebounds in 4 games. See, very big but very athletic on the court. Had a 20 rebound game against West Aurora. Had a 20-20 game, put 20 points up in that one as well. Very skilled senior. He hits both of them in a 7-0 lead now. Lane Tech really wants to get some points on the board here. Scantlebury in the right post. This one's going to get thrown away, but Labcon gets it. Down low to Scantlebury. Gets a few guys to jump. Hits the 2, and Lane Tech is on the board. The 3 ball has not been working here early on for Lane Tech, so we'll see if they resort to that post play that they know works so well. 7-2 the lead for Brother Rice. 4.5 to play in the first quarter. Fitch has a tough assignment tonight with Solibo guarding him. It's Williams who's guarding Cosme, the other very strong shooter for this team, as this one bounces out, and Williams grabs the rebounds. Williams in transition, sends it to Bartolai, who will try to go on the reverse layup. Instead, it gets blocked away by Fitch. And now it's Brother Rice in transitions. Lane has numbers, but Cosme takes himself. A little too hard on the shot there, though, as Labcon pushes out to Bartolai. Lane looks a little more hesitant for the 3 here, and a travel's going to be called on the junior Bartolai here. 3:50 to go, they're over halfway in as we see Tyler Wooden check into the game for Danny Sheehan. I was expecting Wooden to be the starter tonight over Sheehan. He's been in that role for a lot of this year. The transfer from Thornwood has done really good stuff. Probably made the right decision transferring to Brother Rice. the Crusaders having a lot more successful of a season this year, and Woodin's been a big part of that. Just a lights-out shooter, as picking his pocket is Scantlebury, gets it away from Gonzalez, and Lane Tech with a little bit of momentum here. Labcon fakes a three, drives it himself. Can't get the layup to hit the glass, though, as this one's sliding on the ground, and Cosme comes up with it. Woodin now with it for the first time tonight. Can't hit the mid-range jumper, and both these teams just cold shooting out of the gate, as Williams will give it to Labcon. So Lebo trying for his first points of the night. Instead, unselfish ball to Williams, who misses the three, and Scantlebury, I think, is going to get called for the foul there. Oh, no, they're going to call it against Brother Rice there. So they give it to Workman. That's the first foul of the night for Brother Rice, and Lane Tech will keep possession. 3:05 now to go in the first. Turnaround jumper from Solibo. Can't get the lucky bounce there. Brother Rice has done a great job guarding the star player for Lane Tech tonight. Doesn't help that Lane's 0 for 5 from beyond the arc as well. Workman tries to work around the right side, passes it to a driving Gonzalez, who gets the 2 to go. 9-2 the lead, low scoring first frame here from Lane Gymnasium. Talking with the head coach of Brother Rice, Conte Stamus, a legend here in IHSA basketball, as Williams misses the 2. He said that this is a Brother Rice team that really flourishes in both the low-scoring games and the high-scoring games. We've seen them win some 40-point matchups against teams like Bloom and Loyola Academy. They've also won some overtime games, 83-80 over Rockford Auburn. So this team flourishes in a variety of environments. Right now looking like we may see a low-scoring affair here tonight. Bartolai tries to get inside the paint, puts it off the backboard and in. 9-4 the score, 2:18 to go. Lane Tech with their second field goal of the night, the first for the junior. As easy to the basket is Fitch, and we said he's our player to watch here tonight. He already has 4 points. He just gets to the basket so easily. Fitch was doing that last year for this Brother Rice team, but he grew his shooting game as well, and Coach Stamus said that just makes him so much more comfortable on the court, as Williams misses again from that corner. It's going to be Cosme in transition. Fitch tries to put up the 2, misses that, and Williams will get, they're going to call a jump ball there with Williams falling to the ground, and Dylan Pepper is going to make his first appearance into the game for Bartolai. So it's Scantlebury, Pepper, Trevor Goodhart just came into the game as well. Shahid Solibo and Parker Williams on the court for Lane Tech. They're experimenting with a couple of different roster rotations, getting Goodhart, who's a really good three-point shooter, into the game. That's obviously an area Lane Tech has struggled with here early on. 92 seconds left in the first frame of action. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Lane Gymnasium. 11-4 is your score. Just 2 made field goals for Lane. So Lebo trying to make it 3. He can't, and the ball will go off him as he tried to grab his own rebound. Lane Tech has not had a lot of second chance opportunities so far today. They'd love to get a few more of those. Gonzalez brings it up the right side. He has a Radford offer. Will get more over this season and this offseason. The junior, one of the more skilled players in the area, as Cosme dances into the paint, out to Gonzalez. So the top 2 ball handlers. Fitch thinks about the shot, instead dishes it to Workman, who's standing right in front of the basket for 2. 13-4, almost a double-digit lead here for Brother Rice. Under a minute now to play. Trevor Goodhart gets it to Solibo. Solibo's played the entire first 8 of this one alongside Williams, as down low Scantlebury will get fouled, and they're going to give him 2 shots. Thought the referees were going to say that one was on the floor. Instead, it'll be Scantlebury returning to the line. 2 points on a layup earlier today for the big man for Lane Tech. He's been battling injury this season. Saw him miss a good chunk of December, returned against Chaminade, and then had a couple of really good games in the Hinsdale Central tourney. So he hits the first of 2. He's not in the starting lineup here today. went for 16 and 8 rebounds his last time out against Morgan Park, as Scantlebury goes 2 for 2, and it's a 13-6 game. So Lane Tech gained a little more scoring late. Just 2 field goals in the first quarter thus far for the champions. Pepper with a tough assignment of Gonzalez. They'll switch Scantlebury onto him. A little bit of a mismatch speed-wise there. They won't take advantage. Instead, it's Wooden who pulls up over Williams, can't get it to go, and Williams off to the race. He has 20 seconds, but rushes the pass to Pepper, and instead, Brother Rice will get the ball back with 18.9 ticks to go. KJ Morris comes into the game. The junior for Brother Rice gives Wooden a rest. And really, that's been the only position that's been up for grabs. The other 4 of Cosme, Gonzalez, Fitch, and Workman, as a jam there from Fitch, has been pretty steady here. We talked about this only being a 7-8 man rotation for Brother Rice. Down low, Scantlebury finds Williams. He drives in and will get blocked at the buzzer. 15-6 the score. Some struggle shooting early on for both of these squads, but Brother Rice finds their stroke late. They take a 9-point lead into the second frame. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Welcome back to Lane Gymnasium, 15-6. Brother Rice leads after 1 quarter here from Lane Tech. We talked about both these teams had some struggles in the Hinsdale Central tournament. Brother Rice entered the tourney undefeated, left with 2 losses. They're 15-2 on the year. Lane Tech dropped their opener and then dropped their 3rd game, finishing 11th place. Not exactly where the champions wanted to be in that one. And then both of those teams had a few days off, had their first practice back yesterday, and both the coaches kind of had different things to say about their first practices. Talking with them yesterday, Nicholas Lugabo said it was an up and down practice, kind of like what we've seen this season from Lane Tech. And he's really been honing in on this team, that they still have a lot of potential, but there's some inconsistencies that they need to clean up, which we've seen here early on. As Morris puts it out, Sheehan back in for the Crusaders, puts it to Gonzalez. Some good man-to-man defense here early on for Brother Rice, as Gonzalez hits the beautiful mid-range jumper, and the lead out to 11 for the Crusaders. As for Brother Rice, their focus was just getting back to the fundamentals. This was a team that was ranked top 5 in the area, maybe the top team in 3A before dropping a few last week. And their head coach, Conte Stamus, just said they needed to stop doing some of the fancy stuff, focus on the fundamentals of basketball, as Williams misses the 3. Lane now 0 for 6 from beyond the arc, and Sheehan gets the rebound. He came in for Kale Cosme, so the star for this team out right now, but there's just so many players with star power for this Brother Rice squad. So Lebo also started the quarter on the bench, as Sheehan can't get this 3 to go, but he's going to check in momentarily. A scoreless first quarter for the senior. Rosenkrantz in the corner for 3, misses that one, and Lane Tech can just not buy a bucket here early on. In transition, Wooden with the Euro step and rims out. Lane Tech's lucky. This could be an even bigger lead for Brother Rice if some of these shots had fallen early on. Rosenkrantz from the corner again. And another missed shot. I believe that's 8 now. I think 4 of which have been from that right corner, and they've all been open looks. We saw a pair there from Rosenkrantz. Williams had a couple open looks from that spot there in the first quarter. They just have not been able to get it in. They have 2 two-point field goals and 2 free throws. 4 of these points scored by Scantlebury here in the opening quarter. And then 2 minutes here as Pepper pulls for 3, can't get it to go. Especially on these open 3s, Lane has had some space to take a few steps and get a more manageable jumper from inside the three-point line. They're just not taking them. That's an open look from Gonzalez. And if you give him that space, he is going to make you pay a full timeout here, taken by head coach Nicholas Legalbo, one of 5 he has. And he wants to talk things over with his 5 on the court right now. They've been really reliant on the 3 ball here today, and it just has not been falling. Brother Rice, meanwhile, one of the things that makes them so dangerous is they have so many ways to score the ball, and they have shown that here today. We've seen them get down low, but more so, we've seen some threes hit, but that mid-range jumper, you have players like Wooden, you have players like Fitch, Cosme, who are just so dangerous from 10, 15 feet out. They have shown that here tonight, and it has led to an early 14-point lead. Definitely not an insurmountable comeback for Lane Tech. Still plenty of time in this contest. They just need some shots to start falling their way. It's going to be interesting to see what Lane Tech pulls out of this timeout. We see head coach Nicholas Legalbo talking to his team right under our broadcast booth. It'll be Solivo, Goodart, Rosencrantz, Pepper, and Scantlebury. Your 5 on the court for the champions. Cosme comes back in to go along with Wooden, Morris, Workman, and Sheehan for the Crusaders. So you have Fitch out. That takes some height out of the game for Brother Rice. We'll see if Lane Tech can take advantage of that with both Solivo and Scantlebury and Pepper in. Goodart gets it far side to Rosencrantz. Tight man-to-man defense from both these teams early on. Solivo coughs it up, and Morris gets 2 hands on it. 5:20 to go here in this first half. A 26 lead for Brother Rice. A nice idea there from Wooden trying to feed Morris, but it bounces off his hands. Lane just trying to find a single open lane. Scantlebury goes up for 2, but some nice defense there from Workman. Wooden will get called for the travel. Scantlebury has height over Workman. Workman's listed at 6'4", Scantlebury's listed at 6'7", but Caden Workman, the junior, has just been such a defensive headache for teams this year. Saw him against Loyola play a great defensive games, usually puts a couple blocks in as well, as Goodart misses the runner there. And they'll pass it out to Gonzalez. Beautiful ball movement there. Sheehan will pass it out. Cosme fakes the NBA range 3, now pushes it out to Wooden. And a 3rd chance now for Brother Rice. They put it in the corner. Cosme, the hot shooter, can't get it to go, gets his own rebounds. And this is going to be about a minute-long possession from Brother Rice when all is said and done, at least. Bartolai waiting to check into the game. Gonzalez open for 3, rims out, and Solivo finally grabs the rebound. Lane Tech in transition, 4 on 3. Solivo puts it up himself, and the senior is on the scoreboard here tonight. 20-8, 12-point lead for Brother Rice. Cosme thinks about the 3. Lane Tech's done a good job of defending him early on. Obviously one of the shorter players on the court, but has just such a dangerous shot as an early 2 put in there, easy 2, excuse me, put in there by Wooden. His first points of the night for the transfer, 22-8, halfway through the second quarter of action. Solivo trying to be the hero, puts it out to Pepper, fakes the 3, drives the baseline, and this one will go off the shoe here of Cosme as Bartolai comes into the game, replacing Goodart here. So it'll be Solivo, Pepper, Bartolai, Rosencrantz, and Scantlebury. Looks like Williams getting ready to come in soon as well. Scantlebury almost lost the pass in there, and now he does lose it to Cosme. He pickpockets him, goes all by himself, gets trapped up, and Lane Tech will get it back. Lane Tech's defense looking a little stronger these last couple of minutes. Now they just need to find a way to get some steady offensive momentum. We just have not seen that here today, as Cosme pokes almost his 2nd steal in a row, but Rosencrantz will eat it up in the backcourt. 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Bartolai sees an open lane. Workman, though, we know is hard to get over, and this one hits the back of the rim and falls out. Instead, it's Gonzalez in transition, trying to get over Scantlebury instead gives it off, and a foul is going to be called here. Salibo fouled Gonzalez as he was scoring there, and he'll head to the line to try to complete the three-point play. 24-8 your score. Labcon going to come in alongside Williams. Saw Pepper and Rosenkrantz now take a seat on the bench, so almost a starting lineup here for Lane Tech, with the exception of Scantlebury in instead of Mazanowski. As the free throw's good, and a three-point play here for Gonzalez. He's up to 10 points, the first double-digit score of the game here. Lane's leading scorer, Dalton Scantlebury. He only has 4, but that's half of Lane's points here tonight. Lane has yet to hit a 3. Only have 3 field goals. As Salibo puts up a one-footed jumper, and that's what makes him so good. Second basket tonight for the senior. See if he can will Lane back into this game. 25-10 your score, just over 2 to play in the first half, as this one goes through the legs of Workman. Cosme saw an open pass there, couldn't get to go. Lane Tech head coach Nicholas Legalbo knew just as big of a threat that Cosme is going to be. He actually played collegiate ball over at Benedictine with his dad, Cosme's dad. So those two were tearing it up on the court in the early 2000s, and now Legalbo coaching against one of his former teammates' sons. Another Cosme is actually playing at Benedictine this year, and then Kale will be playing at Lewis University D2 next season, but he has some big goals for this year as he turns around and drains the 3, just as we were talking about him. 28-10 your score. You know, Cosme had a role on this team last year. This was a 30-win Brother Rice team. It was their biggest year in school history in terms of wins. Obviously led by Ahmad Henderson, the current Niagara star freshman. But in the sectional final against Kenwood, Henderson was injured, had to play limited minutes. That was when Cosme really stepped up, and that game scored, I have this written down somewhere, I believe 27 points. Yes, 27, as Bardley is going to head to the line. And misses the first one. Lane 2 for 3 on free throws. And Scantlebury is going to get a break as Zach Mazanowski will head into the game. After not starting, Scantlebury had a long stretch there where he was in from about 3 minutes into the first to about 90 seconds left here in the second. Bardley goes 1 for 2 from the line and breaks it to a 17-point deficit for Lane Tech here. 90 seconds to play in the second quarter. Fitch, who's been quiet, gets it in the right post. Spin around jumper, no good. And Labcon pulls down the rebound. He's rushing, gets it to Bartolai. Left corner 3. Airballs that one. And Workman, who does such a good job of boxing out, gets the rebound in front of Mazanowski. That was one of the things that Lane Tech head coach Nicholas Legalbo said their team really needs to work on. Boxing out. We have not seen that early on as Bardley goes coast to coast and cuts it to a 15-point lead. Little 3-0 run all by himself for the junior. 48 seconds left. No shot clock here at Lane or for this shootout event between the CPL and the CCL. So Brother Rice could keep it. Instead, it'll be Wooden who rushes the rebound. Can't get to go. Nice rebound from Workman. He puts it up and cuts this little Lane run to an end. 30 first half points here for Brother Rice. Not a bad offensive going for the Crusaders at all. Labcon thinks about going into the paint, instead backs it up. Salibo with 4 points, loses it to Cosme. He has at least 4 steals here today and will try to go coast to coast. No foul there, gets his own rebound, misses it. And Salibo will get it with 4 seconds. Puts it to the head to Bartolai, who will go for a buzzer beater layup, gets it to go. And Lane Tech will at least take that into the halftime break. 30-15 your score. 7 first half points for Drew Bartolai, who scored 5 of those in the last 90 seconds of play. A few free throws and a couple of baskets. So Lane Tech with a little bit of momentum heading here into the third period. 10-minute halftime break. We'll be back in about half of that time for our halftime report. Just going to go get all of our stats, and we'll be back in just a little bit. But don't go anywhere. Your halftime score from Lane Tech. It's the Brother Rice Crusaders 30, the Lane Tech Champions 15. You're watching Lane Tech basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Halftime break here from Lane Gymnasium. A 30-15 lead for the Brother Rice Crusaders over Lane Tech here on this Wednesday night in Roscoe Village, Chicago. Thank you so much for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call. Great being back here at Lane Tech. Spent many nights here at Lane over at Syracuse now doing college, but very fun to be back on the call for this great matchup. Brother Rice, the number 9 team in the area. Lane Tech not ranked at this moment, but they've had some good wins. They're going to need to shoot the ball, though, a lot better if they want to get back into this one in the second half. We'll take you through your scoring in the first half. There's not a lot of it for Lane Tech. They've only had 3 players hit a basket here in the first 16 minutes of gameplay, and it's 3 of the stars for this team. 7 out of Drew Bartolai. 5 of those came in the last minute or so of the game. He went 1 for 2 from the line, had a couple of field goals, had a field goal earlier in the game, but 7 points for him, almost half of Lane Tech's scoring. Shahid Solibo had a couple of nice baskets. He is at 4, and then Dalton Scantlebury had 1 basket and went 2 for 2 from the line. So 4 for the big man for Lane Tech. So those are your 3 scores for Lane Tech. A little more diverse scoring for Brother Rice, which you can assume with their 30 points so far today. Xavier Fitch, Lane Tech's done a good job controlling him. He averaged 17 points per game over his last 4, but so far only 6 today. Marcos Gonzalez has been the star for Brother Rice. He's the best junior on this team, one of the best players on this team, period. He is the only double-digit scorer for either team. He has 10. Lane's done a good job controlling Cale Cosme. The 5'9 guard averaged 18.3 points per game over his last 4, but has only 6 at the halftime break here today. 2 for Danny Sheehan and 4 for Caden Workman. So you see, Lane Tech's done a decent job defensively. The big problem today has just been shooting that basketball. They have, I think, 0 for 8, 0 for 9 from beyond the arc. It's mainly been that right corner that you see on your screen right now, the bottom right part of your screen. That's been such trouble for Lane Tech. We saw Braden Rosenkrantz missed a pair of open looks from that spot. Before that, Parker Williams missed a pair of open looks from that spot. So Lane Tech's done a good job passing the ball. They've gotten those open looks. They just have not been able to hit the 3 here today. A couple of those, and this is a single-digit game, and Lane Tech's right back into it. We'll see if they can do that to start off the second half. Brother Rice has done a good job diversifying their scoring. We did see a couple of 3s. Gonzalez had 2. I think Cosme had 1. But other than that, I mean, it's mostly been that mid-range and that inside game. Caden Workman just seems to always be in the right place at the right time. Head coach Conte Stamis had really good things to say about him when we talked yesterday. But very well is going to come down to if Lane Tech can hit their shots and then which team is just coached better here in the second half. 2 very experienced coaches at the helm of these programs. Brother Rice coach Conte Stamis. It's his second year of Brother Rice, but he has been coaching for about 45 years, spent a lot of time with Evanston and then another school before coming here to coach at Brother Rice after Bobby Fraser moved on to I believe the collegiate ranks. I forget where he moved on to 2 years ago, but this is his second season. He's being inducted into the IBCA Hall of Fame as part of their 2024 class. And then obviously for Lane Tech, head coach Nicholas Lagalbo won his 200th game earlier this season. You know, funny enough, 4 years ago, he moved to second place in the all-time ranks with, I think, 164 wins or something. It was less than that, actually, on the Lane Tech list. And talking with Lagalbo, he said he hadn't thought about the all-time record, which is held by Ray Umbright with 264. But, I mean, if Lane Tech has a couple 20-win seasons, he's only about 3 seasons away from getting that all-time record. And Lagalbo said his dream is to coach one of his kids here as part of this Lane Tech boys basketball program. So we'll see if that happens. But very successful careers for both of these 2 coaches, and we'll see how that smart coaching comes into play here in the second half. Both teams back on the court, just about a minute to go until we get ready to roll in the third quarter of action here from Lane Gymnasium. Been very fun so far to watch these 2 teams go at it. See which starting lineups these teams go with for the second half. Lane Tech had Dalton Scantlebury on the bench to start off the first quarter. I find that hard to believe they'll do that again here. Zach Mazanowski was the starter. Did not do bad by any means, but Scantlebury has been the #1 big man all year. I would be interested to see if Lane Tech considers going with 2 big men in the lineup at all here today because of the number of points that Brother Rice has been getting down low, and also part of that time, we saw Cale Cosme on the bench, and at that point, you really only have Marcos Gonzalez as a super good ball handler on the court. So Lane Tech could give up a guard and put a second big in there and see what they can do, considering the three ball has just not been falling. Looks like it's going to be Gonzalez, Workman, Cosme, Wooden, and Fitch. Your starting five for Brother Rice this half, which is who we thought was going to start the first half. Instead, Wooden, who only had 2 in that half, was on the bench, and it was instead the junior Danny Sheehan in the game. And for Lane Tech, they are going to roll with the starting 5 we were expecting as well: Williams, Solibo, Scantlebury, Bartolai, and Labcon. So Scantlebury does start off the second 16 minutes of play. It's Lane Tech basketball. Labcon lobs one to Scantlebury, who gets it, gets hit, and he's going to have 2 free throws. So an unorthodox start to this third quarter, but it pays off if Scantlebury can hit these free throws. Labcon placed that lob perfectly. I feel like I'm talking about a quarterback here, but heaved that one towards the baseline, and Scantlebury caught it and will miss the first free throw. Scantlebury with 4 here today, 3 seconds into the third quarter, and he hits his second one. So 5 points for the big man, and Lane Tech down by 14 now. 8 minutes in the third, 8 in the fourth for Lane Tech to try to make that up. Gonna have to stop Cosme, though. He has 6. Switches on to Solibo. Good matchup there. Scantlebury on Workman. If they can keep Workman to the outside, that's going to be big because he's been a big presence inside. Instead, Gonzalez goes to work down low. Cosme gets the rebounds, and Workman will pass it down low to Fitch. We don't have the rebounding numbers available to us live. I would be fascinated to see, as this one goes off of Fitch, but I would be fascinated to see the rebounding numbers for Cale Cosme here today. He's only 5'9", the shortest player to touch the court here today. I believe Rosenkrantz is listed at 5'10", but he has just been in the right place all the time, as Solibo dead center 3 and can't get it to go. This one will fall into the hands of Workman. Lane Tech still getting those open shots as Fitch tries to go straight to the basket, and on the ground, Scantlebury gets it, and they're going to call a foul. Oh no, they call a timeout there. Apologies, Hooks. So Lane Tech decides they want possession, and head coach Nicholas Lugamo uses his second timeout of the day, this time just a 30-second timeout to talk things over. So 14-point lead for Brother Rice. The Crusaders, though, have not scored yet this half. Lane Tech has just 1 point off that free throw from Dalton Scantlebury. Lane Tech continues to move the ball well. We'll see if they can hit some shots. We have not seen Luca Pinto come into the game yet for Lane Tech, but he's one of the 6'5" juniors that can just shoot the lights out for Lane Tech. And if they find themselves in a situation where they really need to start hitting the 3, would not be surprised to see that. So Lebo gets double teamed. I think they were playing for that. Find an open Labcon in the corner. Williams is open. He thinks about the 3, instead gives it to Solibo. Great ball movement here. Scantlebury in the paint, and he's going to get fouled. So Scantlebury has drew 2 fouls here in the first 76 seconds of this game. That one goes against Fitch, his second of the game. And if you can get some of these players in foul trouble for Brother Rice, that could be big because, as we know, they're not a super deep team. Scantlebury can't get that 2 to go. And the good looks but bad execution continues for Lane Tech as Workman tripped on Solibo's foot going up the court there, and they'll call it a foul. 3 fouls now for Solibo. He's the only player on the court for Lane who has any. That is something to watch for. Just 4 points out of the senior today, but we've seen some big second-half performances out of him. Some big second-half performances against CCL teams. He had 13 in the second half against St. Ignatius as Fitch gets the Crusaders on the scoreboard here. Labcon thought about the 3, pulls back, though. It looks like a zone defense now for Brother Rice. Mixing up their defenses as Solibo gets the long pass, tries to go behind his back. And instead, Bartolai comes up with it, and they're going to call a charge. Taken there by Caden Workman. And nothing falling the way for Lane Tech. That continues here in the second half. First foul of the day on Bartolai. He's the leading scorer for Lane Tech with 7 points. Scantlebury has 5. So Lebo with 4. Those are your top 3 scores for Lane. 32-16, the champions trail. 5:50 to go in the third. They work it down low to Fitch, and Labcon almost strips him of it, and the second time he does. Now it's Labcon working fast-paced offense here. Euro steps in and blocked by Workman. We said he averages a couple blocks a game, gets 1 there, and Fitch on the other end finishes with the 2. So just like when it looked like a momentum play for Lane Tech, instead Brother Rice turns it into you can call that a 4-point swing. Stop Lane Tech from scoring 2 and get 2 of their own. 34-16 now the lead. So Lebo takes himself, puts it down low to Scantlebury. That's been what's worked here today. Lane Tech gonna hone in on that. And Scantlebury has all 3 of the second half points for Lane Tech in the first 3 minutes of this third quarter. Wooden's been quiet today. He's been a good ball facilitator, but we know he can shoot the rock. He just has not done it much today. I think 0 for 2 maybe, 1 for 3 from shooting, as this one will go off of Labcon. The way Brother Rice utilizes their size, not being a super big team, but still just hawking rebounds, is so impressive. Fitch, though, does have some size, and he'll get fouled going up for a second shot. And we'll have a chance to extend this lead past 16. This is the largest we've seen it at here today. We talked about earlier on in the broadcast how Fitch really worked on his outside game this offseason. Able to shoot the 3 more after being such a good inside presence for Brother Rice a year ago. And Coach Thamus said that just helps him be so much freer on the court. I mean, you think about it. If he's only able to work inside, teams know where he's going to be. They can guard for that. But if he's able to shoot the 3, you have to come out with him. And then if you know he can drive and score down there as well, there's really no place you can leave him open or even give him a little bit of a leash. So it's what's really transformed Fitch into such a dangerous player. Just one offer from one of the California state schools. But would not be surprised to see his offers go up in the next couple of weeks. An unsigned senior, Wooden picks the pocket of Scantlebury here, takes himself, and gets the easy lay-in. Brother Rice approaching the first 20-point lead of the night, 37-18, with 4:20 to go. Williams drives the baseline, and an acrobatic reverse layup finish there. For the Trinity transfer, he'll be Trinity commit. He'll be spending next year playing ball in Texas, but has a few more games left in the Merlin Gold, trying to make the most of it. 37-20 halfway through the third quarter of action. Workman pushes it out to Sheehan, who misses off the front of the rim. Workman almost tipped that one in, but Labcon will ultimately come up with the rebound. Lane playing with a little more energy. Bartolai straight to the basket. He slipped through the arms of Workman and Fitch there. They gave him just a little bit of a tunnel to work. And Lane back within 15. This is where the halftime deficit was. They got to within 14, but if they can have a little bit of a run here, that's not how you're going to do it, though, leaving Cosme open and leaving Fitch for the dunk as Brother Rice goes back up by 17. 3:20 to go here in the third. It seems like every time Lane Tech has some momentum, just gets wiped away. Zach Mazanowski will check into the game soon. Bartolai tries for the layup, was trying for back-to-back scores there, but hits the inside of the rim. Cosme open for 3, and you cannot do that if you're Lane Tech. The senior hits the 3, and the lead now up to 20. 9 points for Kale Cosme. 42-22 your score, under 3 to play in the third. So Lebo's had a quiet night, just 4 for the senior. Tries to fly in, get something done. He can't. Scantlebury with the and one, though. And he'll head to the line. 3 for 4 from the charity stripe here today. He's up to 9 points, trying to become the first double-digit scorer for the champions. Mazanowski is going to check in for Labcon, and this is what we talked about going into the break. If Lane Tech feels they can stop the guards of this Brother Rice team, you can put two bigs like Scantlebury and Mazanowski in, and then also, despite Mazanowski's 6'7" frame, he can shoot the, what was it that Coach Legabo said? I think he described both Mazanowski and Pinto as players who can shoot the leather off the ball. Just very impressive shooters as well. So now two bigs into the game as Lane is going to stick with man. Look for a second there like they were moving into a zone defense. Some interesting matchups with the size on the court right now as Fitch gets it to Cosme. And instead it'll be an open Gonzalez who airballs that one. Rare miss, but Workman flies in for the rebound. Trying to work down low, gets it to Fitch, who will get blocked there by Mazanowski. And he'll bring the ball up the court. 2 minutes to play, 17-point lead for Brother Rice. Works it right side and looked almost like a travel there. Refs won't call it, and he gets his first points of the game. So I'm sure head coach Nicholas Legabo smiling a little bit on the inside after this decision. We'll see if it continues to pay off. KJ Morris will check into the game soon for Brother Rice. Inside, Workman. Mazanowski slaps it away, but Workman gets it back. Tries to turn around the right side, and a foul's going to be called. And Caden Workman will head to the line. Almost a perfectly played possession there from Mazanowski after the score. Was defending Workman very well. Instead, though, it'll be 2 foul shots here for Workman. 6'4", junior forward, super physical inside. Well, hit the first one, bring it to a 16-point game. Workman's been playing with Marcos Gonzalez, another one of the stars for this Brother Rice team for a long time. They played with the Rangers, who I think is a pre-AAU team out by Brother Rice when they were growing up. So those two have some chemistry together, and they both put together impressive performances here tonight. So Lebo gets thrown to the ground but can't hit the basket. No foul called. Instead, it's Gonzalez working quickly. Punches it out to Cosme. We'll see some subs into the game soon for Lane Tech in the form of Rosenkrantz and Pepper. Sheehan almost lost it. This time he does. Williams has it. He has Salibo and will give it to the senior, who finishes with his 3rd basket of the night. Lane's really going to need Shahid Salibo to keep up this scoring if they want to find themselves back into this one. 15-point game and under a minute to play in the 3rd. Fast-paced game here. We've seen 2 timeouts, a few fouls, 7 in this quarter, but moving along at a fast pace as a push is going to be called on, I believe, Scantlebury here. We'll see who they mark it on. No, it's going to be on Bartolai. And it looked like Lane Tech was about to have a rebound there. Instead, it's a foul called. And with these new IHSA rules, that 5th foul, NFHS rules, that 5th foul is going to put Morris on the line. So Salibo's coming out of the game here momentarily. Not sure who the other substitute for Lane Tech is, as Morris's first free throw is missed. Looks like Scantlebury will also take the seat, so it'll be Pepper, Williams, Bartolai, Mazanowski, and Rosenkrantz on the court for Lane Tech. 44.9 seconds in the 3rd, and both free throws missed here from Morris. Lane Tech trying to make up some more ground. Williams almost tripped, gets it to Rosenkrantz. They swing it around the perimeter. Bartolai drives in, finds open space again. Can't finish the 2, though. Few of those this quarter for Bartolai. This would be a much different scoreline if he could finish them, and a blocking foul is going to be called against Pepper. Bartolai had a chase down block there from behind, but Gonzalez was in motion first, and they'll mark Lane Tech with their 6th foul. This was a shooting one anyways, though, and Gonzalez will get a pair of free throws. Not expecting another 0 for 2 performance from the line like we saw last time from Brother Rice as Gonzalez drains the first one. Plays with Illinois Wolves for AAU, one of the top area teams. And he adds 2 onto his team-leading 12 points here tonight. 46-29, 17-point lead for Brother Rice late in the third. They swing it to Pepper. This one picked off from Gonzalez. Williams with him, but they'll let him go to the basket for the 2. And a late run here from Brother Rice has put this back to a 19-point game. Pepper almost got ball stolen there. 2 seconds. Maznowski has to force one up around the rim and out. And Lane Tech gets outscored by 4 in the third period. 8 minutes, they really needed to work their way back into this game. Instead, they find themselves in a further deficit. 48-29, Brother Rice leads. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Eight more minutes here from Lane Gymnasium. 48-29, the lead for Brother Rice. Not a super high scoring performance from the Crusaders, but they have done what they needed to on the offensive end, and Lane Tech has not done what they've needed to do scoring-wise. And with that, it is a 19-point lead for Brother Rice heading into this final frame of action. It'll be the Crusaders going from left to right across your screen. Wooden's going to inbound it. Gonzalez, Fitch, Morris, and Cosme on the court. Workman on the bench here. We'll see if Lane Tech can take advantage of that. Interestingly enough, Solibo and Scantlebury stay on the bench to start off this fourth quarter. Assume they were coming out the end of that third so they could rest up for the fourth, but they'll have a prolonged stay on the bench. Good ball movement, as we've seen all day long from Brother Rice. They punch it out to Morris. And if you're Brother Rice, I mean, you want to score the ball, but also just take some time off the clock here. Lane Tech needs a lot of scoring to get back in this one, and if you can end the long possession with a 2, do that. Fitch closes out a 30-plus second possession with 2, and Brother Rice hits the half-century mark. Fitch now with the steal off of Maznowski, almost slams it in. He had a big dunk earlier. This one rims out, and Bartolai will have open lane in front of him, and he'll go for the layup. Thought about a big dunk here. Saw a poster dunk in the opener against Jones, and Lane Tech gets back within 20. 50-31 your score. So Lebo and Scantlebury checking in momentarily. Those two have combined for over double-digit points this game, and can't say that about a bunch of duos here for Lane Tech. As Cosme works his way in on Rosenkrantz, they punch it out to Fitch. Fitch wide open after Rosenkrantz backed off, gets his own rebound. Not an and one, but we'll head back to the charity strike, 50-31. Lane's gone with about a 9-man rotation here tonight. 5 on the court right now to go along with Solibo, Scantlebury, Goodart, and Labcon as first shot, a rare miss there from Gonzalez. Excuse me, from Fitch. Don't see that a lot. Morris checks out of the game as well. As Workman comes back into the game, so Lane Tech cannot work into that deficit with Workman out. And, you know, he might be the impact player of the game here today. Rosenkrantz gets it to Solibo. And apologies, it looks like that's Matt Justic, actually, not Workman, who's come into the game, number 20. So Brother Rice possibly moving into their bench a little bit as this one falls off Wooten. Justic, a 6-foot junior guard, left-hander, can get to the basket very well. So some more guards coming in for the Crusaders. Williams works into the paint, uses that pivot foot and gets pushed going up, and they'll give him a pair of free throws. Hasn't been a bad day at all from the free throw line for Lane Tech. Only a couple misses on a few appearances to the line. Scantlebury, Salibo, Williams, Rosenkrantz, and Bartolai on the court. As first shot is up and good out of Williams. Just 3 points today out of the senior. He is so calm and composed on the court. Has been a really good ball general for Lane Tech these past 2 years, a captain this season. As he misses the second free throw, Fitch easily tears that one down. 6 minutes to play, 18-point lead. Sheehan with a give and go with Fitch and finishes with the 2. Lane Tech had that entire bottom right corner of your screen open. And the lead back out to 20. Salibo tries to split the defenders. He can't. Gonzalez comes up with it. And Lane Tech running out of time for a comeback here. Just 5.5 to play. And Brother Rice has been slowing down their possessions here. Gonzalez spin move out to Sheehan. Cosme punches it out. And you see no rush here out of Brother Rice. Down low, Fitch puts up the 2. And he's had a great second half. He's up to 17 points. Playing with 3 fouls, but not that much time left. He does not have to hesitate at all. And, you know, some college is going to be very, very lucky to get Xavier Fitch next year if he does decide to play in college. Very impressive and still a lot of upside for him as Scantlebury turns around and hits the 2. 20-point game, 4:50 to go in the fourth. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Lane Tech. Final game of the Public League, Catholic League shootout. There was 3 games against St. Rita as travel called here on Gonzalez, and then 3 here against Lane Tech. Apologies, I did not get the score from all of them. I know the last game here at Lane was St. Lawrence versus Clark. St. Lawrence rolled to a 74-54 victory. Lane Tech will face off against that Clark team that was on the losing end next week. In between that is a weekend matchup at the Hyde Park event this weekend against Joliet West, another big test for this Lane Tech team. And you know, you see these scores for Lane Tech as Bartolai gets scored and wonder, like, how is this a smart choice to go with so many tough opponents this year, the tough holiday tournament? They're going to end up having most likely 8 losses, barring a late comeback here today. But talking with head coach Nicholas Segalba, it's really all about the end and the state playoffs and seeing if Lane Tech can be prepared, because we've seen the last 4 years, 5 years. I mean, 5 years ago was the good year where they almost won that regional against Whitney Young. But last 4 years, they've ran into a lot of troubles when they get into state play, when they get into the second, third round of city. As Bartolai will have the second free throw to try and cut into this 20-point deficit. So the hope is that playing teams, both in-state and out of state, they played Chaminade at home. Padua Franciscan will come to Lane Tech next week from Ohio. By playing those teams, you're hoping to be most prepared when you get to regionals. As Bartolai hits the second free throw, Lane Tech has not won a regional in school history. They've gotten close. Last year they fell to Riverside Brookfield in overtime. Looked like they were going to have a chance to play in the final at home, but could not finish the job against Will Gonzalez and co. And they're hoping this tougher schedule might lead to higher seeding and just more preparedness heading into late February, early March play. Brother Rice, meanwhile, they might have an easier state playoff run this year. As we see Fitch here in front court trying to get past Scantlebury. They're keeping him to the outside, but he will just try a give and go there. Lane Tech will get it back. So last year, Brother Rice made it to the sectional final as a 4A team. They petitioned, they're naturally a 3A team by enrollment, and the team decided to go back to 3A. Earlier, they had petitioned to go to 4A, but the way it works is you can either petition to go to 4A, which is the most competitive class. 3A is not bad at all, though. Or if you are a private school that goes downstate, you automatically go to 4A if you're a 3A school in state playoffs. And their head coach, Conti Stamus, said he wants their team to earn that 4A berth. He wants them to get downstate in 3A, automatically be put in 4A, and he's hoping they can maybe do that this year. 15-2 record, not looking bad at all, as the dish down low, finished there by Workman. Workman with 8 points tonight, and back to a 20-point lead here for Brother Rice. 3 minutes to go in the game. Brother Rice keeping the pedal to the metal. You have almost your starting 5 in right now, with the exception of Sheehan out and Wooden in, but this was your starting 5 over the holiday tournament. As to the basket, Scantlebury misses this one, and the shot's just not falling. If you're Lane Tech, there's lots of positives with ball spacing and getting open shots here that you can take out of tonight's game, but it's really just going to be finishing shots, kind of what like you've seen Brother Rice do. I mean, you look right there, Fitch gets wide open, gets the ball and finishes the shot. Lane Tech's a team that can do that, as Lebo gets fouled going up for 2. And now we're going to see some of the bench players come in for the Crusaders possibly. So Lebo will have 2 free throws. Just 6 points tonight for the senior. Trevor Goodhart will check in as well. First shot off the mark from Solibo as J.D. Gamboa checks into the game. The 5'11 senior forward checks in for Fitch, and if that's a night for Fitch, a very impressive performance. 19 points for the senior, likely to end up leading all scores. Second shot from Solibo is up and good. 7 points for him here tonight. Gonzalez passes it off to Cosme down the left side, can't finish with the layup. 21-point lead for Brother Rice, and they're just going to try to kill some clock here. We mentioned no shot clock in this event. As to the basket, Gonzalez will get fouled, and he'll have another chance to add to his 14 points from the line. Looks like Labcon's going to check into the game too. So Lane Tech putting in some of their top 3-point shooters, which they would need a lot of to get back into this one, but we'll put Labcon and Goodhart, both forces from beyond the perimeter, into the game, and looks like Mazanowski will come in as well, as first free throw from Gonzalez is good. Gonzalez definitely a player to watch. You mentioned he had that Radford offer, as Williams and Barley check out of the game. He'll probably be getting some Power 5 offers if he keeps at the trajectory he is at. He's 6'4" right now, but if he gets another inch or two, just a junior we mentioned, and continues his hot shooting, you're likely going to see some more offers for the junior, as Dylan Pepper comes in, and making his first appearance tonight, Luca Pinto, the junior guard/forward hybrid that head coach Nicholas Legaldo speaks so highly of. Solibo will exit the game. 7 points for the senior. 60-37 your score. 2:08 to go here in the fourth. Brother Rice likely to advance to 16-2. Heading into the rest of winter break, and then just that very tough Catholic League schedule. They're in the Catholic League Blue. I don't know if we talked about this yet tonight, but you have Mount Carmel, who's a 2-loss team. DePaul, who hasn't lost yet this year. Loyola, that's a 3-loss team, and that's just part of the conference. Like a very strong Catholic League Blue this year, and Coach Stamus for Brother Rice was saying they're just going to be tested every single night, as Brother Rice takes a timeout so they can put in Jack Walker, one of their junior guards. Give Kale Cosme a break. 9 points for him. Quieter night scoring-wise, but did a good job facilitating stuff as one of the guards. as Walker will almost get stripped there by Labcom, but will go off of the senior. Brother Rice will keep possession. Lane will have to head back to the drawing board after this one, as Pepper sent to his feet. 3 on the other end is off the mark there from Morris. Lane trying for some late scoring. Pinto thinks about the 3, drives baseline out to Mazanowski, and can't connect on the 2, but will head to the line for a pair. Most of the fans staying in the crowd for the entirety of this one. Good matchup, but Brother Rice just a little too strong for Lane Tech tonight. Obviously a top 10 team in the area, as Mazanowski hits the first one. You know, after last year when Brother Rice won 30 games, it would seem almost impossible for them to break the record the very next year, but with what's going to be 16 wins already, as Pinto gets called for the foul there, it's definitely possible. There was so much success last year, but head coach Damas said that this is probably a team that, not that he likes better, but that he feels more connected with, because he had the full off season with them, so he was able to work with them in the off season, work with them in the weight room, really get to shape this team how he wanted, and it's really paying dividends early on in this year. Brother Rice is going to break a losing skid of 2 games as Gamboa misses the 3. That one caught out of bounds by Walker. Lane Tech, meanwhile, will drop to 10-8. Can't get a winning streak going. They've just been win-loss, win-loss, win-loss recently. As down low to Mazanowski, he goes up for 2 and gets it. Some late scoring to cut it to a 19-point deficit for the champions. 6 points for Mazanowski in not that many minutes. Impressive showing out of the junior. He'll be one of the leaders for this team next year. As 3 fired off the mark there from Sheehan, it looks like. Goodhart will pull up for 2. Lane Tech getting these open looks late. They needed them a little bit earlier, though. 18 seconds as they'll push it in the corner. 3 off the mark from Gorman. And Mazanowski may just dribble this one out as the clock counts towards 0. Pepper will fire a late 3, can't get it to go. Labcom with one more chance, and that one off the mark, and that's the story of the game. 3 ball just does not fall for Lane Tech. They cannot stop Xavier Fitch, Marcos Gonzalez, both 19 points for Fitch, 15 for Gonzalez, I believe they end with. Those 2 combined for almost as many points as Lane Tech had. 34, Lane Tech puts 43 up. Lane Tech with some good spacing here today, some good passing. They just could not score through the basket. That'll be something they look to improve on Saturday against Joliet West. That game at Hyde Park at 6:30, and then after that, it's conference play next week. Clark on Wednesday, Lincoln Park on Friday. But that's just about all the time we have here tonight from Lane Gymnasium. It's been great being back here on the call. Very fun to be back at Lane Gymnasium. A great atmosphere. Champions can't get it done tonight. They'll try to change that this weekend. Your final score from Lane Gymnasium, it's the Brother Rice Crusaders 60, the Lane Tech Champions 43. My name's Alex Burstein. Good night.